Time now for my review of Halloween 2023 in Red Dead Online. So I did a review last year for Halloween 2022 in Red Dead Online. I'll link it below in the description section if you're interested in checking out that video. And obviously I've made quite a few Halloween themed videos for Red Dead Online over the years, because I do enjoy the Halloween season, and I think that in online live service multiplayer games, it's a perfect opportunity to have a bit of fun, just like in Fortnite and what's going on with the Halloween event in GTA Online. I've always felt like Halloween and Red Dead Online had a lot of potential to be spooktacular. However, in the case of the past couple years, for Halloween Red Dead Online has been very low effort, and 2023 is no exception. Not so spooky copy pasta when it comes to everything that they brought back or resurrected from the dead in this event. First off, as I ranted about a few weeks ago, Halloween Pass 2 has been brought back for a third year in a row. What about Halloween Pass 1, Rockstar? There's a lot of Halloween content locked behind Halloween Pass 1 that plenty of players have not gotten access to. At the very least, they should make that Halloween-themed content available to purchase, even if it's gold bars from Madame Nazar, for a limited time throughout the Halloween season. No new Halloween masks, costumes, outfits, weapons, or horses were added either when it comes to quote-unquote content throughout the Halloween season. And regarding horses, it's a no-brainer because a lot of you have probably played Undead Nightmare. I did, a month or so ago for the port version of Red Dead Redemption for PS5. And yeah, I mean, there's the horses of the apocalypse. There's the zombie horse. There's the unicorn. Those horses, they could have reskinned and remade for the Halloween seasons, time limited for Red Dead Online for the past few years. Yet, once again, no new breed, no new horse, no new mount has been added to Red Dead Online since they stopped really updating this game roughly, a year or two ago. But imagine how cool it would be if during the Halloween season, you had the ability to purchase war, pestilence, famine, death, zombie horse, or the unicorn and ride them throughout the year and make everyone else jealous. I mean, maybe they don't have the abilities that the horses of the apocalypse had in Undead Nightmare, but cosmetically they would still look really cool. And that's another thing that's missing in the Halloween season that a lot of us have been wanting for a while now, is Undead Nightmare in Red Dead Online. Even if it's just dynamics spread throughout the 5 states, where occasionally you'll run across hordes of zombies you have to take out, and when you kill the zombies and you wipe them out in an area, you get some sort of reward for it. Or at the very least, just XP, cash, and maybe a little bit of gold. That would be better than nothing. And perhaps a twist on Land of Opportunities, similar to the story of Undead Nightmare, where it kind of runs parallel to the main story of Red Dead Redemption 1, where you have the same characters, Leclerc, Corley, and the others having to deal with an alternative reality regarding zombies, the undead rising from the graves. But at this point, Rockstar hasn't even officially finished the Land of Opportunity story, so that's asking for too much, I suppose. Modes brought back for this Halloween 2023 season: Fear of the Dark, Dead of Night, and All Hallows Call of Arms maps, which was the original Armadillo, Shady Belle, Bulger Glade, as well as Butcher Creek. And I think Butcher Creek is still my least favorite of all these All Hallows Call to Arms maps. But on October 17th, Rockstar did add 3 new All Hallows Call to Arms maps, as well as 3 new Dead of Night maps. So some quote-unquote new content was technically added in Halloween 2023 for Red Dead Online. Now, on the flip side, the original All Hallows Call to Arms maps and the Dead of Night maps were removed after October 17th for the remainder of the Halloween event. And for the record, I don't really give a crap for Dead of Night, so we're just going to focus the rest of the review on the 3 new All Hallows Call to Arms maps, because I did go play all 3 of them. And I'm going to be honest, Saint Denis, Plantation, Sisika, Tumbleweed, much better maps than what we got last year, which were Heartland Oilfields, Limpany, Saint Denis Graveyard. I enjoyed playing Saint Denis Plantation, as well as Sisika and Tumbleweed, way more than the 2022 All Hallows Call to Arms maps. I just felt like they actually, whoever was in charge of making these new maps, did a decent job. And these are pretty good locations to have a survival map. Like Sisika, for example. It's awesome that we actually have a mode that's at Sisika. I know there's been, I think, a PvP or two at Sisika, even though canonically it wouldn't really make sense for our character to go to Sisika because we start off as a prisoner there. And if we ever went back to Sisika, I'm sure the guards would remember us and they'd probably send us straight to the gallows. But since this is, All Hallows Call to Arms, kind of like an alternative reality, I'm cool with it because it's just a location on the map that we don't get to explore. And if you try to on a boat, well, it sinks in the dead water before you even reach the island of Sisika. So I enjoyed playing on Sisika. I thought that Tumbleweed was also a decent survival map for All Hallows Call to Arms. And the biggest surprise for me personally was the Denis Plantation. I saved that one for last, and I honestly thought that I wouldn't enjoy it as much, but surprisingly, it was a decent map as well for All Hallows Call to Arms. I just wish we had more to deal with than just simply the dead or the typical predators that come after us. This is another example how I'd much rather have Undead Overrun from Red Dead Redemption multiplayer in Red Dead Online with dealing with waves of the undead, like regular zombies, the crawlers, spitters, the brutes. But the dead has always been kind of a discount undead. They're not really dead. They're a cult, one of the many cults in Red Dead Online. But they are somewhat formidable, especially those that throw the ancient tomahawks at you because they can one-shot you. And if the machete-wielding maniacs get a hold of you, you're as good as dead. But despite the fact that the 3 new All Hallows Call to Arms maps were relatively decent, surprisingly, why remove the old maps for what's left of the Halloween season, especially since these are time-limited maps anyways? They only bring them back once a year. Why not keep the originals in there along with the new maps? So you would have 7 All Hallows maps to play whenever the 17th initiated the addition of the 3 new All Hallows and 3 new Dead of Night maps. That way players could just pick between 7 different All Hallows Call to Arms maps, including the originals, which are still, for the most part, pretty solid. Well, 3 out of 4 of them are. But instead of just 7, why not bring back the 3 maps from last year as well? That way players had the access to 10 All Hallows Call to Arms maps. So all 10 maps. But we only get 3 out of 10 of those maps available for the remainder of the Halloween event for 2023. It just seems like a very bad call in my opinion. I understand that Rockstar wants you to focus on playing the 3 new All Hallows Call to Arms maps, but I prefer variety and options, and I think it would be better suited if we had the ability to pick and choose between all 10 All Hallows Call to Arms instead of just 3, even if some of those other maps kind of sort of suck. And my final issue is something I brought up previously, the cooldown. What is the point of the cooldown, Rockstar? Because after you do an All Hallows Call to Arms map, you get a 22-minute cooldown. So not only do you not have access to the previous map, like for example, let's just say you do Sisika, right? And you want to just jump from Sisika to Tumbleweed or Denis. The problem is, no matter what, you have to wait 22 minutes to get through the cooldown. Unless you join a friend's posse, that's the only way to really get past the cooldown, and your friend happened to not participate in that All Hallows Call to Arms map you just played, because these are playable solo, are with up to 4 players. But no matter what you try, except for going through the posse route, you have to wait 22 minutes. Even if you close app in the game and restart the game, you still have that timer ticking away. It's completely unnecessary in my opinion, Rockstar. I just don't think that it makes sense to have a 22-minute cooldown period. I've never understood the point in having these cooldowns in any of these modes in Red Dead Online. Just let us play the damn game. Remove the cooldowns. There's hardly anybody playing Red Dead Online anymore anyways. For example, in previous Call to Arms, even if I played solo, random players would end up joining me. But that never happened for me whenever I did Sisika, Tumbleweed, or Denis Plantation. It was always me jumping into a solo map. So despite the fact that these are new maps, less and less people are playing Red Dead Online, which means less and less people care, because Rockstar has stopped putting forth any actual effort into Red Dead Online. They're just doing the bare minimum, and so that Strauss Zelnick can justify quote-unquote new content being added to Red Dead Online in the next quarterly earnings call for Take-Two, that's most likely why they added 3 new Call to Arms and 3 new Dead of Night maps to Red Dead Online. Bare minimum effort. The Halloween season in Red Dead Online always had potential to be amazing, and it could have been if Rockstar actually gave a damn about Red Dead Online, which they clearly don't. At this point, we could have had Undead Overrun. We could have had like an undead version of Land of Opportunity story mode. We could have had the Horses of the Apocalypse, Zombie Horse, Unicorn Return to the Game, time-limited animals, breeds, mounts that you could purchase and use. They could have even added cryptids like Chupacabra, Sasquatch. But 3 new Dead of Night and 3 new All Hallows Call to Arms is better than nothing, I suppose. It's better than starving to death. Red Dead Online is very similar to one of the undead in Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. It has been risen up from the grave, but what's left of it is a shadow, a shell of its former self and former glory, and it's just like wasting away slowly as it stumbles across the desert of New Austin, bits and pieces continuing to fall off. It's just sad that Rockstar refuses to finally lay Red Dead Online to rest. But the only 2 reasons why they don't is probably for some remaining gold bar sales that they still get somehow. And once again, Strauss Zelnick's quarterly earnings calls for Take-Two in order to justify to shareholders that somehow there is new content still being added to Red Dead Online. The truth be told, I know that most of the shareholders probably don't care. They're only interested in the dollar signs, like are they making more money than what they invested into Take-Two? But from a gamer's perspective, it is most certainly disingenuous of the head of Take-Two to claim that new content's been added to Red Dead Online when we've gotten no new roles, no new properties, no conclusion of the Land of Opportunity missions, no bank robbery heists, or all the other stuff that we've been wanting to see added to Red Dead Online that unfortunately will never come to pass. Just like with any hope of an amazing future Halloween event. If there is a Halloween 2024 event, it will be more of the same. Low effort, not so spooky copy pasta, and maybe if we're lucky, they will add 3 additional Dead of Night and 3 additional All Hallows Call to Arms maps, but most likely bring back Halloween Pass 2 for a 4th time. A very bleak future for Red Dead Online, especially when it comes to whatever they got planned next year for Halloween 2024. Your thoughts, views, and opinions, as always, welcome below in the comments section.